Hi, I'm Ciel, and today I'm going to talk about how to make your life interesting using the frameworks and habits that I picked up in 2025 so that you can try it out in 2026. An interesting life would look different to everyone, but what I want to talk about is how to find interest in the day-to-day, in school, work, commute, and the collective free time that we already have. These ties into the ability to be bored, because now being bored is something we need to intentionally do, and we won't be able to do this if our mind is bogged down or distracted. And so the first step to be able to access other way of viewing things and finding interest in the mundane things is to have a clear mind. Now, I believe, like anything, mental clarity is a muscle. And to train this muscle, there are 3 exercises or 3 pillars that help to build that clearer mind: resilience, clarity, and interest. Alright, I know it sounds like a loop right now, but it will make sense in the end. Trust me. So I have collated 5 habits and skills that I cultivated the past year that has helped me to, first, spend less time on my phone. Second, find the mundane and the time in between more interesting. And 3, to lean into inconvenience. It's not perfect yet, but we all start somewhere, right? And now we're gonna start with number 1, writing. Writing is thinking, and by giving myself the time to write, I give myself the time to think. Alright, when it comes to writing, I have 4 categories that kind of emerge after I do all my writings and I start to see patterns, and that's when I start to identify that I either write a brain dump, a journal, a thought catalog, or a log. So a brain dump is when I write down anything that's bogging me down, like a list of things that I have to do, about interaction with a customer, an anxiety or worry over things that have happened or will happen. This is me clearing up my mind and giving space to better and more hopeful things to think about. It also becomes obvious now that if you clear up that space, you would be able to see the mundane and see things with a different view, and you are less likely to try and distract yourself. Now, the pro tip here is that with brain dumping, it's not limited to just writing things down. Sometimes, especially with the bad customer interactions, I just draw a comic. I draw a little silly comic. It's in one go. I draw it on pen. I don't do erasing or like even planning about it. I just write it down and draw it like I'm just pouring my anxiety or anger or whatever feelings that I have onto paper. And oftentimes having it out there it makes it easier to see it for what it is. And when I make it silly, it makes me a lot less angry than I were if I were to keep it in my mind for days on end. Journal is when I reflect on the events of my day. A favorite framework that I have for kind of reflecting is to frame it in gratitude. It doesn't happen every day, but when I do write things that I'm grateful for, it just gives such a positive feeling in the end. Now, thought catalog is something that I made up that sounds really cool, and I'm gonna claim it. This is where I write down ideas that are buzzing in my mind for days to months at a time. So sometimes when I'm reading Substack, when I'm watching an anime, there would be a quote or a concept that strikes me, and if I don't write it down immediately, like sometimes it would just come into my mind and present itself in different situations in my life, and that's how I know that, oh, this thing is actually important to me, and that's when I decide to put it on my thought catalog. One of the main use of thought catalog is that you will start to see patterns of thoughts that you value because you write them down, and it starts to reveal to you what sort of topics or matters that you find interesting, what your values are, and it just overall help you to understand yourself better. Last but not least, but also my favorite one, is a log. This is, to me, a record of my adventures that are not tied to my external world, but have everything to do with my internal world. So this is oftentimes our medias that I engage with. So I have a One Piece log, I have a TFT game log, I have a solo RPG log, and of course I also have my book logs. So what's fun about these logs is that I write down my adventures with, viewing a story. Like, One Piece is a very big saga, it's a very long story, but there are so many people that love the story, that are fully engaged with it, and that inspired me to write down my adventures as well. So it's like, I got up to Thriller Bark, I finished Thriller Bark, and I'm entering Shabondi Archipelago, and writing down the feeling of meeting Brook for the first time, and then seeing how cool he is with his sword, and then also seeing how funny he is, and then getting his backstory, and then crying my eyes out. I feel like these experiences, although they're not quote-unquote real life experience of me with my friends or whatever, it's still a very real feeling. Like, I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel entertained with these characters, with these stories. Those are real feelings, and I want to honor that and write it down. This just gives me a feeling of being interested in my own life, in my own experiences, and when you're kind of appreciating your life in that sense, you would be able to see things more clearly. You would be able to see that, hey, actually, life and being fully engaged with media and actively creating or actively being inspired is really fun. It's really fun, and I think that if you just picked up at least the log, you would be able to make your life a lot more interesting. Trust me. Number 2, bring back analog items. So I feel like I am seeing a lot of resurgence of analog items. I'm seeing leather-bound journals, I'm seeing film cameras or digicams. I'm seeing a lot of people kind of distancing themselves from their phones by using these analog items that replace the reliance on your phone. And with this alone, there are 2 quite obvious pros and cons, I feel like. So the pro of going analog is obviously it decentralizes your life from your phone, right? So think about it. When you just need to check your time, you pull out your phone, and at that point it's so easy to just mindlessly, out of habit, open it and then go through the entire social media shebang. But having analog items creates less and less reason to pick up your phone to begin with. So when I start having this film camera, I make sure that I only take meaningful photos with it, right? Like things that I want to remember. And ever since I start to carry my film camera around, I stopped taking photos with my phone. And now the photos that I take on my phone are completely utilitarian. It's like a screenshot or something for work. Like, you don't look back on it, but when you have a film camera, especially when you print the photos out, it's a memory. But you might realize now that the con is that it costs money. Getting a film roll each time is costly. Buying journal inserts is costly. But I believe that after all the initial costs, it's worth it. We all know how manipulative the design of our phones are and how hard it is to control our attention when surrounded by these hostile devices. So I'm saying, if you do have that extra money, try going analog bit by bit. Just having these little things that decentralize your phone usage really does make life a lot nicer. Number 3, having a list of anchors. This one I got from my counselor. So basically, you write down the things that you anchors you to your ideal or like your neutral self. So basically, whenever I feel anxious or feel really sad or miserable, I check with my anchor and see if I have been doing or haven't been doing certain things. For example, my anchors are working overtime 2 nights in a row, not properly cooking for myself for more than 3 days, and not writing for more than 2 days. So basically, if I feel shite, I will see, have I been working overtime 2 nights in a row? Have I been working way too much? Have I abandoned my cooking and just eat takeouts for the past 3 days? Having these lists of anchors really helped me to realize that, oh yes, I haven't been eating home, I haven't been cooking or taking care of myself by cooking for myself in a while. Then I know that I have to go cook for myself today, pronto. Number 4, freedom to pick up skills and hobbies. In 2025, I learned a couple new things: chess, tarot reading, and bouldering. The thing about the freedom to pick up skills and hobbies is related to just doing it. Forget the pressure of being great, of being the best, of being good at things, and just do it because you can, because you have the free will and the ability to pick up anything that you want. The other thing that I had was bouldering. It's relevant to number 5, which is taking care of my body. So the reason why I picked up bouldering was because I had my wrist injury, which I talked about in the previous essay, and bouldering is one of the ways that I could strengthen my upper body and essentially making sure that I am not weak and flimsy and then lose the ability to draw forever, because that's one of my biggest fears. This year I really learned that there is no ambition worth sacrificing your body for. And like, I go bouldering with friends every week as well, and it becomes like, in a sense, like a social activity as well. And it's just great. You're helping your body to get stronger, you're training it, and you're also making everyone feel good because you guys are hanging out together. Now, let's revisit that framework at the start: resilience, clarity, and interest. With picking up new skills, doing exercises like bouldering and making a game log, these are habits that build resilience. It shows you that failure is normal, and if you feel terrible about it, you have felt terrible multiple times before. But look at you now, you grow. You have the capacity to get stronger, both your body and your mind, and this should be the source of your assurance and trust and confidence in yourself, that when difficult things happen, it will be okay. With brain dumping, reflections, and having anchors, it facilitates gaining clarity. It opens up space in your mind for kinder things like gratitude and grace. It helps you identify what's draining you and what you believe in and what you want to do. With picking up skills, spending time undistracted with analog things, and keeping a log of all the fun worlds you venture to via games and stories, these proves that you have interest, that life is interesting. It reveals to you what you like, what you find interesting, and engaging with it becomes an activity that's filled with fun and intention. The cherry on the top is having a lot of interest and cultivating this curiosity in you helps you to see the world you live in a clearer way, in a clearer light, and you can see the possibilities and whimsy around you. So for 2026, I pray that you would be able to try these things out and start to see that your life is interesting, and if it's not, you have the ability to make it interesting. Like, all the tools are already with you. Hi, welcome to the postscript. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2026. I'm really hoping that this year will be a great one with a lot of wins. This video took about 2 months to make, a lot of up and down while I'm doing a lot of other life things, but I find this video in the middle of editing about experimental mindset and how setting experiments in the new year rather than setting up resolutions is a very good way to actually change your life. And I think this goes really hand in hand with the point about the freedom of trying new things. And so if you're interested in that, I highly recommend this video. They did a very great job explaining and framing everything in a very slay way as well. So give it a watch. In terms of what experiment I am doing, I have a couple listed out, but I don't want to pick which one I'm doing until I'm done with the current one. And the current one that I'm doing is I'm reading 1 book a week. So usually I'm pretty sporadic with my reading. I do love reading, and I've consistently hit about 20 to 25 books every year, but one of my bingo card goal this year is to read 50 books. So I think reading 1 book a week would help with that, or even mainly help with building consistency in reading. So let me know if you guys are trying any new experiments, any new activities this year, and if after watching the video there are things that you want to try out, please let me know. And finally, thank you to my Patreons. Thank you for supporting me through everything, and I really hope that the things that I share are helpful to you. And yeah, I want to make something short and sweet for the next one. I really don't like this 2-month production schedule. I like the monthly one better, so I will aim to do that again. And yeah, until then, see you in the next mood. Bye.